Next up, we have Cube. Cube is modernizing the US interstate highway lodging market.
There's nothing more quintessentially American than a road trip, but there's nothing worse than staying in a shady roadside motel. I learned this lesson firsthand in my first road trip cross-country from New York to San Francisco when I stayed in a shady Motel 6 on the side of the highway and I got bed bugs. My experience didn't really get much better from there. Throughout the rest of the duration of my trip, no matter where I stayed along the interstate highway system, I found my quality of experience to be ubiquitously poor, so much so that I slept in my car most nights. When our generation takes the road, we deserve a place to stay that's reflective of the American dynamism that's brought us all here tonight. That's why I'm building Cube. Cube hotels are from the future, and quite frankly, they're like nothing you've ever seen before. They're 55-room, jet black, metallic cube boxes that are located along major interstate highways. When you walk in, you'll be greeted by a mixture of Japanese and Scandinavian minimalism, like sunken conversation pits, Japanese Zen gardens, and modular co-working space. Operationally, Cube is optimized for 2025, from contactless check-in systems to digitally permissioned access-gated systems to keep our hotel guests safer. You'll be able to stay in a Cube hotel for $115, $20 less than a Best Western, and $20 more than a Motel 6. Our secret sauce that gets us to this price point is volumetric modular construction, which reduces our build cost by 20% by reducing our time to market by half. Pave the road forward with Cube Hotels. Visit us at cubehotels.com.
Now, is the model here that you would own all the cubes, or you'd have it sort of franchised out?
So we would own and operate the first 2 or 3 to get viability of the concept, and then from there we would continue to own the properties, but they would be externally managed by a third party.
And what occupancy rate do you need to break even? Like, how big is this?
Yeah. So roadside budget hotels are generally a cash cow. So we would need something like 40% occupancy to break even. The market standard is 60%, and we think we're going to offer such a kick-ass product that we're going to be at 80%. But if we're at 60%, we'll be 35% EBITDA margin.
So my understanding is that there are no humans checking people in, or that you're not dealing with any humans. It's all electronic.
Yes, that's correct. For the check-in and check-out process, it's completely contactless. There'll be people at the facility, general managers floating around and such, but not in a traditional check-in capacity.
Okay, so what about hygiene and any of the issues that come up when somebody's at a hotel?
There'll be a standardized housekeeping service. No major changes there.
How do you plan on driving adoption early on?
Yeah, so billboard advertising, I think, is a very underutilized space. I think we will have a really creative billboard advertising campaign. We also want to lean into social media advertising. Right now, the product quality is so poor that you're not really asking cool social media influencers to hawk your product. I think that's something that we'll be able to do effectively, and effectively be the first major chain to be able to do that.
Who's your target market, and what's the target market of people who do long-distance driving across the nation?
Yeah, so our target market, we call them yuppie, millennial, and Gen Z road trippers. And like myself, I am the target market. But there's over 20 million people in this demographic every year that take road trips, and currently we believe that they're very underprovided for.
Have you done any proof of concept testing? And just take 10 seconds to talk about your team.
Yeah, for sure. So we've taken a survey of 100 like-minded yuppie, millennial, and Gen Z road trippers where we flashed our schematic designs, which I've done in concert with my design partner based in Los Angeles, who's my other teammate, and they've performed very well. We've shown definitively that people do not like the contemporary mid-scale and economy budget offerings. They think of them as sketchy, low quality, et cetera, all the adjectives I described before. But they really liked our design consistently across the board. So it was some early validation just from survey data.
Thank you, Cube.
Yeah, thank you.